Howdy and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing another episode of World in Flames Collector's Edition, Days of Decision 3, Combined Game Playthrough number 3. And this is going to be the March-April 1940 turn. And the last turn saw a whole bunch of gear-ups from major powers. Some of the major powers didn't get their gear-ups or their political options, so they will be getting bonus bid points this turn. Not increased bid points, but bonus bid points. I think that's the weather was kind of on and off last turn. Not a whole lot happened in China or in Europe, really. Overall, it looks like the major powers are getting ready for the next stage of the game. So that being said, let's go and take a look at starting money. Starting money for the major powers looks something like this. For the March-April 40 turn, we have Germany at 1, Japan at -1, Italy at -4, and the Soviets, Commonwealth, USA, China, and Free France are all at 0. I'm currently not tracking the Vichy France totals because the only thing they can build is ships. And as far as I can see right now, they're probably not going to build anything. But I will, if the time comes where they want to build something, I will just backtrack and figure out what their production would have been, and it would have been saved anyways. Okay, so that being said, I have put in a number of bids for major powers for political options. We have Free France bidding 1, the Commonwealth bidding 1, Germany bidding 2, and China bidding 1. Now both the Commonwealth and Germany are going for 2 options. So let's see how this is going to turn out on the initiative track. Alright, so we got Free France bidding 1. They get 3 bonus bid points and 1 for their current position. So that's going to bring them in at 5. They are going to be in at first. The Commonwealth is bidding 1. They're getting 6 bonus bid points, and their current position gives them an additional 1 for a total of 8. However, that's divided by 2, so that's going to be 4. But even so, that's going to be enough for the second position. Germany is bidding 2. They're getting 2 for their 5th place position. That's a total of 4. They're going for 2 options, so that's divided by 2. That's 2. China's also bidding 1. They're getting 1 bonus bid points. So that's a total of 2, so that's a tie between Germany and China. Something you don't see every day. Well, Germany is a 6 and China is a 1, so Germany easily breaks that tie. And China will come in at 4th of all things. So the last card will be on the Free French, and the last card will be on the Chinese. Now for the non-bidding major powers, we have the Soviets at 4. That'll put them in at 5th. The Japanese and Americans are tied at 3. However, the Japanese political initiative is a 4 and America's a 2, so Japan will break that tie. America will be 7th, and the Italians will bring up the rear at 8th. All right, well, it looks like the Free French are first up, so let's go and see what they want to do. The Free French are going to play Free France Organizers. What that does, well, the prerequisite is Free France exists, which it does. It's going to cost 3 money, and what it does is it will place a factory in the Free French capital, and that is going to be the capital of Madagascar. That is the new home country of Free France, and so I'll put a factory there. The U.S. entry is going to be a +3, and there's some minors that I'm going to put out. After I get all that done, I'll come back and Free France will get to activate a minor. Free France has chosen to activate Portugal. So I will grab the markers and we'll go over to the status display. We have a 2 Italian, a -2 Japanese, a -1 US, a 1 French, a -1 German, and a 3 Commonwealth. Well, the -1 US is not going to do anything. The 1 French may actually, depending on how we do this, the -1 German's not going to do anything. And I think what we'll do here is that the order is actually going to be somewhat important here. I think if we activated the French later, once we drag Portugal into the ideology, it could actually move the marker. Oh no, it wouldn't, so it doesn't matter. So we'll just get rid of it. All right, now let's see. We're going to activate the 2 Italian. Well, it costs 2 for hex, but Portugal has a alliance with the Commonwealth, so it's going to cost another 1. So that would actually cost 3. So the 2 Italian do nothing. We'll do the 2 Japanese yet. Well, it costs 2 for the hex and 1 for the boundary, so that's 3. So that does nothing. The Commonwealth one costs 3, so it's 2 for the hex and 1 for the boundary, and that will put Portugal in the Democrat ideology. Yeah, there. Now there are 2 minors, 1 hex away from the Commonwealth. And that wraps up the Free French political turn. We do not roll to end the political phase because there's a +1 to the die. So we move down to the Commonwealth, and let's go and check out and see what they want to do. We got the political option. I think it's going to be a gear up. Yes, indeed, gear up. So they're going to gear up. It's going to cost them 10 money. And there's a bunch of minor effects we put out. And U.S. entries, a +6. So I'm going to get that all taken care of. And when I come back, the Commonwealth will get to activate a minor. Okay, I think the Commonwealth will be activating Iraq. So grab the markers. We'll head over to the status display. Iraq is still in the center of the board. It's right under the Greece marker. It's the only 2 that are still in the center of the board. We have a 2 French. We have a 2 Commonwealth. We have a 1 Soviet and a 1 Japanese. So the 1 Japanese is not going to do nothing. The 1 Soviet as well is not going to do nothing. Not going to do nothing. It's not going to do anything. And here's the Iraq marker. And we got 2 French and 2 Commonwealth. I think we'll activate the Commonwealth first. And that's going to move the marker directly towards the Commonwealth. And then we'll activate the French. And the straight line be either this hex or this hex. I think the Commonwealth would much prefer it in that hex. And that will do that for the Commonwealth, for their first political option. We'll roll a die to see if they end the political phase. They rolled a 3. So the political phase does not end. We will move on to the next option the Commonwealth wants to do, which is minor alliance. The Commonwealth is going to sign a minor alliance with Norway. Now this will require a die roll. We're going to add 1 to the result for each factory or resource. They have 0. We're going to add the minor's willpower, which is a 3. So that's a +3. Subtract the initiative position, which is a 2. So that's a +1. And the distance in hexes is 1. So that's no modifier to the die roll. The minor is not hostile. We're not trying to break an alliance. So basically we need anything other than a 0. And on a die roll of 1 to 10, you can't get a 0, so it's an automatic. 4, just to roll the die. Yep, they signed the alliance. So this is going to require the treaty chart. So I'm going to put that out. And then when I come back, the Commonwealth will get to activate another minor. I'll be back in a second. Okay, and the last thing the Commonwealth can do is activate a minor. And they're going to activate Norway. So I will grab the markers. We'll head over to the status display. I'll put the markers out. We got a 3 Commonwealth, a -1 German, a -2 French, and a -1 Soviet. The Norwegian marker is right here. Okay, the -1s are not going to do anything. We'll just get rid of those. I think we'll activate the 3 Commonwealth first. That's going to be 2 for the hex, 1 for the boundary is 3. And it's actually -1 for moving away, moving towards a major power that can... No, it doesn't apply. So it's 3 points. Well, actually it does. -1 moving towards you in the ideology. So it's actually only 2 points to get there. But that stacks Norway with the Commonwealth. The -2 French are not going to do anything because it's going to drive it probably here, which is 2 for the hex, 3 for moving outside, for moving away from a major power that you're stacked with that can control you, and another 1 for moving away from a major power that has an alliance with you. So it would actually be 4 points for that hex. So it's not going to do anything. Not going to move the marker. So the last thing the Commonwealth will do is roll a die to see if they end the political phase. And a 6 does not do it, because there's been 2 previous political options played. So we will move down to Germany, and we will get to see what they're going to do. Okay, for Germany's first option, she's going to create the Waffen-SS. This is going to cost her 6 money. And there's a number of minor effects that I will have to put out. Also, the U.S. entry is a +3. And what this does is, the prerequisite is Germany's production multiple is 3/4 or higher, and it's at 1 right now. All available SS units to Germany's force pools immediately. All future year SS added normally. So I will get that taken care of. Get the influence put out and record the U.S. entry, and I will be back in a few seconds with Germany activating a minor. Okay, Germany is going to break her alliance. Actually, I have to activate a minor before I go on to the second one, don't I? DoDIII. Alright, let's see. Germany got to activate a minor. Oh, there's not. Oh, I know it. We're going to activate Yugoslavia. That's this one right here. Germany might have some plans for Yugoslavia, so we're going to activate that. Grab the markers, come over here. And we see Yugoslavia is over there in the communist ideology. We have a -1 German, and that's not doing anything, and a -2 Italian. Well, it's 2 for the hex, so we could drive it here, I guess. Either or, yep. So that'll do that. And that's that. And then Germany took care of that. Alright, so now we roll the die to see if Germany ends the political phase. 7. She rolled a 7. That definitely does not end the political phase. So she will get a chance to do her second option, which is she's going to break her alliance with Poland. And what that is, it is the war chart plus -1 to other allies. Germany has no other allies that aren't already aligned. So that's not really going to affect anything. All I have to do is put out the war chart. And when I come back, Germany can activate a minor. Okay, for a minor, Germany is going to activate Hungary. Just going to blow off the 2 points that are in there. Take care of that. And because it's not going to move the marker, it's stacked underneath Italy. And the last thing Germany will do is roll to see if she ends the political phase. Oh, that was close. There's been 1, 2, 3, 4 previous political options played, so that's a -4. +1 is -3, that's a 3, so it looks like China will get to do her thing. And China is going to gear up. They're going to gear up. It's going to cost them 7 money. There's a U.S. entry at +5. There's a few minor influences out there. So I'll get that taken care of, and we'll come back. We'll have China activate a minor, and that will be it for this turn's political phase. Looking it over, and I think China will activate Saudi Arabia. They don't actually have any influence in Saudi Arabia, but they can actually help one of their allies, such as it is. Now let's see, what do we got? We got a 2 Commonwealth, we got a 1 U.S., we got a 1 Italian. Well, the ones don't do anything, so we'll just get rid of them. Saudi Arabia is out in the neutral zone, so the ones are not going to do anything. We have a 2 Commonwealth, and that's just going to move the marker straight towards the Commonwealth. Right there. And that's going to do that, and that's the end of the political phase. Let's go check out reinforcements. See what we got coming in. And we got some. We got a pilot for the Italians. We have a convoy point and an infantry army for the Soviets. We have 2 Chinese nationalists, 1 infantry army, 1 garrison army. We have a bunch of American ships. We got 2 battleships, the Idaho and the Maryland, a cruiser, and 4 convoy points. The Commonwealth has a fighter, a pilot. They're going to put that fighter and the pilot and the fighter, and they're going to put that on the map. Need all the fighters we can have right now, we can find. We got a tanker point. I was looking to see if they had any convoy points, and they actually don't. We have 3 cruisers going into the construction pool. And the excuse me. We got the Marine unit for the Japanese, a pilot for the Japanese, a pretty good carrier air group for the Japanese that might find its way onto a carrier. It might not, don't know. And we have a carrier, the Hiryu, no, the Junyo, going into the construction pool. I'm going to put the pilot on the track for now. And that does, oh no, we have the Germans. We have a battleship, the Deutschland, going into the construction pool, a cruiser going on map, a pilot, and another militia unit, Munich. The pilot will go on the track. And that's that. Now let's go roll initiative. See how that turns out. I'll probably roll the weather too. You know the charts at the other end of the table. Alright. Initiative roll. There's the modifiers. No modifier for the communists or the democracies. And a +2 for the fascists. Again, it's red communists, blue democracies, white fascists. And it looks to me like the fascists won that again. Don't really know how the weather's going to be. There's a +1 to the weather roll. The weather could be okay. No, the weather's probably not going to be that good. We need at least a unmodified 7 to have decent weather. So I think the fascists, looking at it, I think they've decided that they would like to go last. They would like to go last. So they're going to be last. I'm going to put them in the 3 and they're last. Now, the communists definitely don't want to be first, so they're going to go second. And that leaves the democracies in at first, which is, you know, that's kind of okay for the British. No, Commonwealth, rather. They got to get their convoys out and all that stuff. All their convoy escorts. So, well, let's do the weather roll. See what we get for weather. Oh my gosh. I rolled a 10. They rolled a 10. And a 10 +1 is 11. As fair weather in every single zone, the impulse marker will move up 1. That's the fascist delight right there. And I will get the reinforcements on the board. And when I come back, we will start the first set of impulses.
So for the democracies, which is really the only one left is the Commonwealth right now, that's all in China. The Commonwealth took a naval and got all her ships out. And, well, at least to block the Bay of Biscay from the Germans doing something. And got a cruiser patrol up in the Farrell's Gap. Over here in China, the Chinese moved a few infantry around just to make their line a little bit more solid, or hoping anyways. Did I do that right? I think I did that right. Yes, that should be flipped. Yep. Okay, so that was it for the democracies. The communists, or the Soviets, just kind of building up on the Polish border, waiting for things to happen. And that brings us around to the fascists. The fascists, the Japanese, are going to take a land, and they aligned Siam. So Siam is now in the war. The U.S. entry for that was 0. There was 0 other effects for it. So a lot of people cared about Siam. And the Germans are going to declare war on Poland. So I will be setting up the Polish forces, and I'll go through the fascist impulse, and I'll come back with any combat, which I'm sure there's going to be some. Okay, we're going to start over here in Asia. We have a 2-to-1 attack. The Japanese managed to scrape together. We have 2 ground strikes. They're both 2s. We got a 4-2 and a 3-something here, I think. Oh, no, Chang is here. I'm sorry. It's 9 points total. All right, and we have 38 attacking. So, we got 2 ground strikes. So I'm going to roll 2 dice for him and 2 dice for him, in that order. First one will be the 4-2. Double 7s, don't cut it. And then Chang. Wow, these Japanese they can't do, I don't know. Seems to me like they have a hard time doing anything. I believe the 2 planes came from this hex. So they will re-land there. I believe there's a city there. Yes. So we got a 2-to-1. There's another headquarters here. He's going to provide the HQ support. So that will be a 2-to-1. Wait a minute. No, I guess he won't. I guess it'll have to be Yamamoto that will do it. So it makes Chang irrelevant. Unless he gets flipped over and flung across the board. So he'll go back in his hex for now. And we got a 2-to-1 to roll. And that's going to be on the assault table. And that's probably not going to be very good. Let's see what we get. 2-to-1. +1. Well, it's not as bad as it could be. The Japanese rolled an 8, which is going to be 9. On the 2-to-1 table is -1S. So 1 unit is shattered, 1 unit is destroyed, but unfortunately all the Japanese units are going to get turned over. So I think the Chang will be shattered and the 4-2 will be lost. And that's probably going to wrap it up for the Japanese offensive this turn over here. I got to flip all these guys over, and then when I come back, we'll go over to Europe and see what the Germans are going to be doing. Okay, Germany's got a busy turn. We got 4 ground strikes here. That's a 2. We're going to do that one first. Against these 2 units right here. So I'll roll twice for each one because this is a surprise attack turn. So it is each tactical factor, each tactical factor gets to roll twice. So it's a tactical factor of 2
We get 2 rolls per. The 1-4 is not flipped, and the 4-3 is flipped with a roll of a 1 that flips them over. So the 4-3 gets flipped over. And that will be a 6-1 attack with a +1. And the next one, let's see here. I guess that's probably the best I'm going to do. 6-1 +1 right here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. First, we do the ground strikes. This one right here, again, it's a 2. He's probably going to rebase to there. There's 1 unit, so we'll roll 2 dice. Roll the 10 and the 7, so no joy there. And then we have 2 ground striking aircraft on the Capitol. A 1 and a 4. So we're going to do the 4. Let me dig them all out here. That's the militia that will show up on the Democrats' impulse. Against the aircraft, the first one. 2 dice at 4s. He's flipped. The second one. 2 dice at 4s. He's flipped. The third unit, the artillery unit. 2 dice at 4s. He's flipped. The HQ, 2 dice at 4s. He's flipped. I'm getting lucky this time. And the 6-3, 2 dice at 4s. He's flipped. I didn't even need the other air unit. The Stukas did it all. So every unit in the Polish capital is flipped over. Alright, and those 2 planes are going to fly back. They should get the Hero of the Reich Award. Where was he? I think he was up here. And this guy I definitely know was probably right here. Whatever, they can go wherever. Alright, so let's start with the 6-1. We have a 6-1 on the Blitzkrieg table here with a +1. We'll just roll it. 6-1 +1. Oh, a 10. Let me see. Star 2S, so they're toast. Those Polish units are done. And we got a 7-1 on the assault table here without a +1. And 7-1 with a 5 is Star 2S. So he's gone. And then we got another 6-1 here with a +1 on the Blitzkrieg table. And that is a 2, which becomes a 3, which is Star B. So this guy actually will be shattered and come back next turn if there is any next turn for Poland. I'll put him up there for now. And the last 6-1, also a +1. And that is another 2, which is going to be a Star B, which is a 3, Star B. So he is blitzed out of existence. So there's 2 units that could come back if this goes to the May-June turn. Alright, I'm going to occupy the hexes over here in Poland. And then we're going to have to roll, oh yeah, the democracies are going to come up and they're going to roll weather. I'm sure they're going to want to have something really bad. But let me occupy the hexes and I'll be back in a second. We are back. I occupied the hexes. And we're back with the almighty weather roll. March, April. Rolled. Can't see that. Rolled a 7. March, April. Rain, rain, fair, rain. Rain, rain, fair, fair, rain, fair. And the impulse marker will move up 2. So it will be raining in Poland. I don't know if that probably is not going to stop the Germans. So I will do the Democrats impulse, the Communist impulse. The Soviets are now free to enter eastern Poland, and we'll also come back to the fascist impulse, and I'll probably come back on the fascist impulse with a summary of what the other two ideologies did. Okay, I finished the Democrats impulse and the Communist impulse. We're back to the fascist. And we have a what is in essence a 5-to-1 attack after the rainfall modifiers on Warsaw. And we have a +3 for the 3 flipped units. We don't even need to add HQ benefits because a 5-to-1 is a minimum of a 4, which is a -1S, which is going to take Warsaw. So we just have to roll the dice. We get a 3, which is a 6. Cross 2S. So that will take Warsaw, and that will be the end of Poland. So I'll get that taken care of. And when I come back, we're going to be on the Democrats impulse. And they're going to roll weather, and we're going to see what's up. And I came back to the Democracy's impulse after I finished flipping the appropriate number of German units and occupying the hex. And they rolled for weather, and of course, they rolled a 1. So a 1 in March, April is blizzard, blizzard, snow, rain, storm, storm. +2 to the weather roll for next turn. Impulse marker moves up 3. So I'm going to record that and basically just going to start running through the impulse until something possibly comes up. And so if I don't, I will come back with the partisan roll. Excuse me. U.S. entry and then production. Okay, the turn ended on the Communist impulse, of all things. And so that moved the Communist and Democrat markers back into the -1 box because the fascists didn't get an impulse that turn. And the partisan roll was France, India, and Manchukuo, and they were negative in all of them. Even though there was a chance in India and Manchukuo, those rolls both came up negative. The U.S. entry rolls, Germany and Japan, was surprisingly enough, was a pair of 1s, which is a -1 for Germany and a 0 for Japan. I'm going to have to do a update on where the U.S. entry is after all these political options have been played, and the U.S. entry is really piled up. So I'm gonna do an update on that in the next turn. Excuse me. So that brings us to production. So Germany is now producing 32, but remember they have to send 1 to the Soviets. So they got 31. They also saved for oil. And they started with 16, and they spent 16. The Japanese producing 17. They started with 11 and spent 12. The Italians are now producing 9. They started with 5 and spent 4. The Soviets are producing 15. They started with 15 and spent 18. The Commonwealth is producing 15, and they got 2 Lend-Lease, so that's 17. They started with 0, and they elected to spend nothing. Basically they wanted to make sure they're not negative for next time. The U.S. is now producing 18, but they're sending out 3 in Lend-Lease. So they started with 15, and they spent 15. They are building a B-17 this turn. China is getting 6, 1 Lend-Lease and 1 cadre from that. They started with -1 and they spent 3. The Free French now are producing. They're drawing a resource from New Caledonia to Madagascar with the 4 convoy points they have. So that will give them 1 production point, and that is that 1 production point means they started with -2 this turn and they spent nothing. So I'm going to get these builds on the circle, and I'd like to thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. I appreciate everything. Appreciate comments, and I will see you next time.